Good morning, my name is Andres Villegas, and today I'm going to be presenting the social groups of Latin America. In Latin America, there are 525 million people, which fills up half of the hemisphere. The ancestors of Latin America were the Native Americans, which were the first people to settle there. Some of them were the Mayan, the Aztecs, and the Incas of Peru. Most of them settled in Mexico, Central America, and the Andes region, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. The Mayans were there from 250 AD to 900. The Aztecs were there from 1300 AD, and the Incas were in the time of the Aztecs, but they established in the Andes. The Europeans were the first ones to get there in the late 1400s. Most of them were Spanish and Portuguese. Later the British and French came. African Americans came in the 1500s as slaves and worked in the cash crops. In 1800 the slavery ends. The Asians came during the 1800s to work in the Caribbean Sea islands, and now Latin America is full of them. Mexico, Honduras, and El Salvador, Cuba, Dominican Republic have the largest numbers of mixed people. In Brazil, there are 6% of others, 38 mixed, and 5% of European. In Mexico, there are 30% Native American, 60% mixed, and 9% European. In migrating north, people come here from all over the world. They come from the U.S. to Mexico, Mexico to U.S., etc. Mexico City is considered a mega city. Brazil has a large population, and it has a lot of people. It has 6% of other, 38% mixed, 55% European, and 1% other. The casta is a hierarchy system created by the Spanish elites based on races. Mestizo is created by Spaniard and Indian, Castizo by Mestizo and Spanish woman, and Mulatto by Spanish and a Negro. Now I'm going to be talking about the economic activities. 3/4 of Latin American population lives in cities, but mostly still depend on agriculture. Most of them export bananas, sugar canes, and coffee, latifund and minifund. Campesinos are workers. Latifundias are wealthy, high mechanized to produce lots of labor at a low cost. Minifundias are small plots that use to feed campesinos, etc. Cash crops and livestock. Cash crops are produced in large quantities, used to be sold or trade. Fertile places are Brazil, Mexico, for example, which produce lots of coffee. Central America and Jamaica, for example, export bananas, in Brazil and Cuba, sugarcane. In addition, Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil also raise cattle for exports. Industry. Most Latin America is in developing countries. They all have industries. Industry growth. Mexico is a major producer of motor vehicles, textiles, etc. Brazil produces iron, steel, cars, planes. Argentina produces processed meats. Maquiladoras. In the past 50 years, Japanese and Americans have built maquiladoras in Latin America, which is low-cost labor. The trade and independence helped the exports be easier, and imports of Latin America are raw materials and expensive tech. North American Free Trade Agreement. In 1992, Mexico, US, and Canada signed it, which increased the flow of goods, services, and people among these countries, which grew in a 10 to 15% annually. But now the U.S. is scared that Mexican low-paid workers is going to win all the jobs in the U.S. Foreign debt. In 1900, the worldwide economic slowed down due to a sharp decline in demand of Latin American products. Now they have a debit and looking for a way to resolve it. Transportation. They make roads all across the Andes, etc. One of them is called the Pan American Highway, from northern Mexico to southern Chile.